Hey everyone, Dan with Mac Rumors, and a few months ago, Dell announced the world's first 49-inch ultra-wide monitor with a 32:9 aspect ratio and a resolution of 5120 by 1440. So in this video, we actually have that monitor in-house, and we're going to check it out and see if it's worth the $1,700 price tag. So I know what you're probably thinking, why on earth would anyone want a monitor this large? It's too big, etc. The point of a monitor this large is that it's meant to take the place of two 27-inch QHD monitors that are side by side. So if you use dual monitors at work or at home, this is meant to replace both of those monitors. If you've used a Dell monitor in the past, the design and overall aesthetics of the monitor should seem pretty familiar. It's mostly made up of plastic, but it has a clean, minimal look to it. You have a set of buttons on the bottom right front part of the screen where you can actually turn the monitor on and off or navigate through various settings and inputs. And on the back, you'll find all of your ports, like two HDMI 2.0 ports, one Display 1.4 port, 5 USB 3.0 ports, and 2 USB 3.0 upstream ports. There's also a single USB Type-C port that can be used with any of the MacBooks that support USB Type-C, and is most likely the connection you're going to use. The obvious benefit is that this monitor can display and charge your MacBook at 90 watts with a single USB-C cable. It will keep your desk setup clean and keep the cable management to a minimum. One of the negatives about this monitor is that it only has one USB Type-C port. So it would have been nice to have an additional USB-C port available for maybe charging other devices or connecting other USB Type-C accessories like hard drives. Another small issue, but it's something to keep in mind, especially if you have a shallow desk, is that the 3800R curvature of the monitor is very subtle. Since this monitor is so massive, it would have been nice to get a more dramatic curve so that reading text from the furthest left or right parts of the monitor doesn't require an actual total head and body shift in that direction. I did find, however, that if you have a deeper desk and can sit further back, this will obviously help reduce some of the movement it requires you to use the entire width of the monitor. Side note, and one that's pretty obvious, you can tilt and swivel the monitor a bit in order to further adjust it to your liking. The monitor is also VESA mount compatible too. As far as actually using a display this large on a daily basis, I was a bit skeptical at first, but man, was it an absolute pleasure to use. I definitely found that my productivity was boosted a bit because I can actually see all of my various apps and windows at once, and I never really lost focus or forgot some of the tasks that I was working on because everything was just right there in front of me. It's nice to be able to work on a script and get an email done or respond to an email and then add the tasks and calendar events without having to search for the apps or minimize windows. Everything is just laid out right there for you to work on. If you work in data analysis and need tons of windows and large amounts of information displayed at once, not to mention everyone in a creative field like photography, graphic design, or in video editing. Obviously, I was very excited to see my full timeline and full-size viewers opened at once, something that's just not feasible using a single 27-inch monitor. Color accuracy is also very impressive out of the box as it sports a 99% sRGB color gamut. The Dell 4919DW also has a few features that some people out there might find useful, like this picture-by-picture mode, which allows for users to display content from two different PC sources without having the bezels down the middle. You can basically use Windows PC and a Mac, or two Macs at the same time, etc. If you have two different computers connected and want to switch between those inputs quickly, you can also use the KVM feature, which if you connect your keyboard and mouse to the back of the monitor and then switch inputs, your peripherals will automatically switch to the right input as well. This is something that I rarely use since I use a wireless keyboard and mouse, but it's there if you need it. Overall, this monitor is definitely capable of boosting productivity and providing you with a ton of screen real estate for whatever your use case might be. If you're wondering about gaming, this monitor does not support any G-Sync or AMD FreeSync technology, and it only runs at 60 Hz, so it's most likely not something you hardcore gamers are going to want to pick up, especially for the $1,700 price tag. But if you're looking to casually game and use this monitor as mainly a productivity monitor, then you can definitely do some casual gaming on it. The $1,700 price tag is a bit on the expensive side, and most people could just buy two 4K monitors at 27 inches for a lot less than that. But at the time of this video, this monitor has been reduced down to $1,250, which makes it a lot more appealing. Now, before we wrap this up, did you know that in OS X you can actually rotate your screen to use your monitor in portrait mode? Now, it's usually not intended for a monitor this big, especially a curved one, and it's super heavy, so I don't recommend you do it with something this expensive without a VESA mount. But don't you want to see what it's like to work on a 1440 by 5120 vertical screen? I do, so I tried it out. And it's mostly good for web pages like Twitter, Reddit, and of course MacRumors.com. It's pretty crazy how big this monitor is, especially in a vertical orientation. It makes the MacBook screen look incredibly tiny. Now, while it was an amazing experience to be able to scroll through my Twitter timeline and see so much information and so many tweets at one time, this is probably not the best use case for this monitor, but if it's something that you want to do, well, it's an option and it's available to you. So let us know your thoughts on this massive 49-inch monitor, and if you have any other better alternatives that you'd want us to check out in the comment section down below. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.